until the PlayStation VR2 reveal. Mere minutes away.
Weeks. We're still weeks, man. It's
Tens of
still
thousands
weeks.
of minutes.
How did you go to minutes now? Like you
What
could
do
have
you
kept weeks and it'd still be a funny joke.
No, minutes. It's just seconds away. It's just lots and
Time is
lots
so
and lots
broken for
of
you,
seconds.
man. Get a watch.
What's the problem?
I'm gonna send you a watch for next Christmas or something.
AJ, for anyone who doesn't know, AJ's constantly saying, "Make video titles that people will watch. make it more interesting." And then the second I do anything more interesting, he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Now that it's finally scheduled for production, when will we see PSVR 2? A million other insane NGVR predictions. I mean, this is like news to me. This is like breaking news.
I have
Anyway.
one other insane NGR prediction. A million might be a little hyperbolic.
Oh, you think? At least we'll have lots of good discussion to go through. So
I hope so. Hopefully the cats will entertain themselves because we're just going to be
they
stupid.
understand.
All right.
They understand.
Can we start the show?
Let's go.
This is PSVR Gamescast Live. We come to you live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This is definitely one of those days. You can let me know in the comments which day it is, because God only knows. I don't know which one it is. 6 p.m. Eastern, live right here on YouTube. And if you don't like watching live or seeing me or that guy, well, you can always just go over to Spotify or a million other streaming services like Apple Podcasts and listen over there. My name is Brian Paul from this show right here, PSVR Without Parole. And this guy over here, my hetero life mate, AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Game Cats? Good to see you. I love how Endeavor One is in the chat. It says it's the year of the cat, isn't it? 2022. Well, I looked it up, Endeavor One, and it is the year of the water tiger. So that sounds pretty cool, man. I want to come back into the next life as a water tiger.
Sounds like a type of cat to me.
I believe that's what I read. Correct, properly. Dude, hey, I've got some great news right off the bat before we even get started.
What's that?
Yeah, well, I got a question for you, actually.
I'm here to answer all questions, AJ.
I know you were like at one point like a kind of a shameless trophy hunter, like you would kind of
Still
do
am.
like really easy games.
Yeah, Hannah
Did you
Montana,
ever
the movie,
feel
the
like-
game. Yep.
Did you ever feel like dirty, like getting those platinums?
Not because of the platinums, no. Just because of
No.
everything else in my life.
You didn't. Okay.
No, dude. I was talking to Josh, one of our loyal game cats, and he was talking about he didn't want to get the Art Pulse Platinum because he didn't want that to be his first. And I was like, dude, just get it over with. Pull it off like a
as your
Band-Aid.
first
Just
platinum?
fucking do it.
Yeah, no. No, man. Yeah, don't do that for your first one. I agree.
Dude,
no.
speaking of
don't
which,
listen to Brian.
literally as I'm saying it, Donatello
No.
Donatello
No,
decided
Donnie.
his game cat in the chat with a $5 tip says, first for his PSVR Platinum achieved. Art Pulse. Hashtag shame. Oh my
Man,
God.
that's gonna be with you for life, man. That's like herpes.
Oh, dude, you don't know how happy that makes me. I feel so good seeing that you just did it, got it over with, and now you can go on to do other super easy platinums like Shadow
Man.
Legend.
Well,
which is better.
congrats, man. Congrats. Let's give props where props are due. Like, congrats. Yeah, first platinum. Welcome to the Platinum Club. The reason I was asking, Brian, was although I love where this went, VROC patched. I noticed it got an update last night, and I was like, let me just check. I was so mad that I had to play this game, and that it actually the one trophy didn't work, and I got the VROC Platinum trophy last night. So they fixed that, which is nice. The reason I asked, because I did feel dirty about it.
Were
I
you
was
the
like,
only
ugh.
person to ever get it because you're also the only other person besides me to buy it?
Probably.
Let's hope so.
Most likely. I was gonna see if it like begged the question of, is it worth buying a game just for the easy platinum trophy? And like the $15? No. It's maybe if it was like $1 or $2.
Yeah.
It'd be worth it because it's also not that time consuming. But I got it, and it's my 30th platinum, and I was like, man, this feels dirty. Like I need to go take a shower after getting this one.
Listen, gather around, everybody. Let's have a nice little fireside chat here. If you feel dirty for that, well, then you obviously never played My Name Is Mayo twice.
No,
because My Name Is Mayo is a game pretty much designed just to give you trophies and a platinum trophy, and it's a separate trophy list for Vita and PlayStation 4. Yes, I got both of them.
Dude, Nick told me something else. He said that if you have a platinum on a game and it's like a hybrid game, if you have a platinum and you go start the PS5 version, you just boot it up and you instantly get the credit for another platinum on the PS5. Like No Man's Sky, I've got the PS4 platinum in No Man's Sky, and if I go start the PS5 version, ding, I get the platinum right away. But I can't bring myself to do it as much as I want to. Dude, I don't think I really. No, it doesn't matter to me.
Every other trophy hunter is doing that. No, come on.
I know, but it's like padding the stats. It's not. It doesn't. What's the point of having a platinum trophy if it's like meaningless? You know, the whole point is that like the reason I take pride in my platinums is because like I had to work really hard for like some of them at least.
Yeah, I take pride in the ones that took me a long time that I had to work for, like Resident Evil 7 and Saints and Sinners to an extent. I take pride in those. I also take pride in the fact that I played Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and Despicable Me and Hannah Montana the movie, the game for platinum trophies on PlayStation 3. Dude, that's just what we were doing back then. That's all the trophy whore war kids were doing it, and I was one of those kids, and it was a lot of fun. I have no shame for any of it, but I'm also, but I'm not like, oh, look at me, I've got the Hannah Montana trophy. I'm like, look at me.
I mean, knowing you, I don't think you're gonna have shame from platinum trophies. Some of us other folk might. Feel some shame.
The only thing I'm sad about is that there aren't any iCarly games on PS4 for me to platinum. What's that about? Come on. We got a couple more tips. Red Rover, send Joe Grover right over. The effing Game Cab, the $20 tip says, Happy New Year's. Hey, Brian, did you ever feel dirty? Dargans. Yeah, I feel dirty all the time. All the time. Come on over. I can make you feel dirty too. We also got Looper, the Underground Game Cat, with the €2. Says, what's worse, V-Rock or V-Brog? Hold on. V-Rock or Brog? I mean,
I'd probably say V-Rock. Yeah. V-Rock is worse. I still think Space Explorer was the worst game. Happy 2022, everybody. Is this the first Gamescast since 2022? Yeah,
I don't know. New Year's Eve seems like a year away. I mean, ago.
Man.
I don't know.
And update. I did break my toe. Unfortunately.
Show it to everybody. Show the toe. Come on.
No, you don't want to see it. What the hell is that?
It's my toe.
What was that? Oh my god.
My feet.
Are you wearing pants?
No.
Dude, you
stand up. Are you wearing pants?
And I am wearing pants. Yes, it's cold outside.
Was I really gonna show something? No, I wasn't showing nothing.
That is perfect microphone placement.
I listen. I wear sweatshorts like 24/7 now, and I have those on, but not pants. Come on.
Okay.
We also got. Hold on a second. There he is, Mad Max, the Metaverse GameCat _VR with a $5 tip. Says, that thumbnail was bringing me in today. That tip is for the thumbnail. Fucking somebody finally recognizes the thumbnails. Question: did you only play Zenith on PSVR? Tech diff? Hashtag GameCats Dojo. Listen, Mad Max. We appreciate your love for the metaverse, for the thing that doesn't quite exist yet. We appreciate you and we love you.
Or that already exists like 20 times over.
Yeah, it's beautiful on PlayStation VR. That is where I played it because I'm a fucking cat, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I didn't play it on Quest.
I don't know.
I'd
imagine the Quest version's downgraded for the Quest, but the animation style though, I'm sure it looks fine.
I played I want to say the alpha on Quest 1. I hope I have this right because it's been a long time since I played the alpha, and that's why I didn't think it was like anywhere close to being ready for like a pre-release beta. And holy crap, man! Like it looked very primitive on the Quest, but I'm sure it looked primitive on all platforms when I played it at that point. So so somebody on the Quest has to tell us if they've played both versions. Braxbro in the chat says Brian asked someone to make an iCarly game in Dreams. Please, everybody do that. I'll play them all. I'll make a video about all the best ones, or just fucking all of them. Yeah. All you R's history with the 2 quid says we need to know why we're here. We need toe updates.
Oh, toe updates. Yeah, yeah. It's broken. I was able to do my live stream Saturday though, and got through most of it. It was hilarious. I had a great time, and yeah, it's a pinky toe. Like, it's easy to avoid.
My parents' cat fell today from a second floor. There's like a balcony and it fell and broke its leg.
Oh no!
Yeah. Yeah.
Why you didn't have to tell us that?
Yeah. I'm saying it could be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Yeah. So everybody, prayers for George. Looper the Underground Game Cat with the 5 quid says in Europe the previous Gamescast was the first of 2022 because it begins at midnight. That's true. It was New Year's Eve here when we started that, but it was already New Year's Day in other places in the world. So that's a good point. Okay. I think we should probably get the show on the road, man. After a lot of great community love. We hope you're all doing well out there. We love you also very much. Remember, if you're not already a member of our Discord, click the link in the description below and join our Discord, because that's where conversations like this happen pretty much 24/7, and a lot of viewer takeover questions that end up in the show. That's where you can leave them. So do that. We love you. AJ, what's our first news story?
Well, we have a lot of PSVR2 discussion to go through. And really exciting things. Again, happy 2022. This is the year of the water tiger. And we're really excited about this year. There's some great things coming up this month as well. We're going to be hitting the ground running. Lots to go through. And like I said, some PSVR2. We're going to be looking later for some of your PSVR2 questions as well, try and answer them. So save those for when we get onto that topic. But first, we have to everything come to a screeching halt, and we have to hold the phone here because there is something more important than PSVR2 going down right now.
Super pressing.
And that is Pirate Flight VR, baby. It's free on it's actually just free on PlayStation Network for a couple more days. Pirate Flight, Brian. Is this game, in your opinion, worth downloading for free and playing? Is it worth your time?
I mean, for free? It's always hard to be like, well, I wouldn't play, something for free. At launch, I thought it was kind of like a baby game, right? I was like,
it doesn't have a platinum.
It doesn't have a platinum. God, I don't even remember that. But yeah, you can actually blast through the entire game and get first place on all the challenges and all the races in literally your first playthrough, and so you're going to be through it in like an hour or something pretty close to that. And you see in this trailer, like you're always. There's no roll, right? There's no ability to roll, but they did patch that in later, and so you can actually get some pretty cool VR feelings, some more intense motion feelings from this game than you could at launch. It feels like it was supposed to be a kid's game, and I always kind of get mad when people use that as a defense and say, well, it's not a bad game, it's just a game designed for kids. And so I have a hard time giving it a pass because of that. I don't think there's any real reason to play this, but I mean, if you are curious, it's free. So, and I think this is one of those examples. Sorry, this is one of those examples where I was looking for the positives in a game, and this is before I used review scores, and so my overall review sounds positive. And I didn't actually like the game all that much. And this is why I started putting review scores at the end of reviews, because I didn't want to confuse people and be like, oh, he sounded pretty positive on it. But then you stamp a 2.5 or something, or a 3.0 at the end of a review, and you're like, oh, right. he tried to find the positives, but it's not a good game. I get it.
Yeah. I remember being kind of hyped for it, actually, because I was like, oh, it looks like Diddy Kong Racing in VR. And the guy was even like, yeah, it's so inspired by Diddy Kong Racing. I'd imagine it was, but you know how many times developers say, yeah, that's what it's like. Yeah, that's what we were inspired
by. Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh no. Real true story, true story what you said right there. That's not that you didn't make that up. But but yeah, and then I played it and I was like, yeah, it's charming, it's simple, it's whatever, and it's a thing. I think if you got nothing better to do, it's maybe worth. You should at least download it or at least add it to your collection. And never know if it might get that PSVR2 remaster. Yeah, I don't know. There's tons of other games I would recommend first.
We're missing the important story. We buried the lead. Does it have HOTAS support?
I was afraid this question was going to get asked. I don't think it does.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it does. And if I'm wrong about that, I'm sorry. That would actually be a redeeming factor if it did. I'd be like, yeah, then go play it with your HOTAS. But anyways, we got Mad Max, the Metaverse Game Cat VR with another $5 tip. Says hashtag PSVR before anything. See, he's with us. He only asked about Zenith on other platforms because after the fall and knowing it only had the flashlight or didn't have the flashlight on Quest, and that's and so now I didn't read his tip. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so guess which platform got my money? That's right. Well done, Mad Max. Much respect. Gatorade23, the H2O despising Game Cat with a $10 tip says, wow, AJ, you actually broke your toe. Have to say, you bulled through that like a champ during Gamescast. Hope everything heals up quick. Cheers.
Thank you, man. Me too. It was funny because I literally broke my toe like minutes before that Gamescast. And so throughout the episode, it was last Wednesday. Throughout the episode, I remember being like, ow, ow. And what was happening, I tried to really hide it and like not show it and be subtle about it. What was happening was that like my leg was like fucking swelling up and like it started like throbbing. Like when you break a bone, I've never broken a bone before, so I don't know what it feels like or anything, but it's just as bad as you imagine. It's like you hear the snap and you're like, oh, what was that? That couldn't have been good. And then you don't feel anything because your body like goes into shock. And then like slowly during the Gamescast, my foot started like swelling up. And like I started like feeling it like throbbing, and I was like, "Oh yeah, and then the next day,
oh yeah, oh yeah,
oh yeah,
it hurts so good. Oh, bring it on, more, Daddy, more. Okay. See, this is why I feel dirty. Peter the Underground Game Cat on Parole with a $5 tip says, "Love you guys and the community. Legit, the best non-toxic one out there. I actually feel like I'm part of a family. Thanks for everything, cats."
It's all about family. Peter Cordova. It's all about family.
Saw that coming a mile away.
All right, man. So moving on. When I say super, you say
what?
Super.
What? I almost got it.
Superhot, man. Something strange is going on with Superhot that I discovered, that I noticed recently. So last time I played Superhot, I think it was requested during the Christmas, when I played it during Christmas on a day during Saturday Night live streams. And I was playing it, and I did the Black Friday update. And if anyone has played the Black Friday update on it, it basically gives you 2 boxes with these like presents in it, and like you have to. It plays like the Home Alone Christmas music. It's probably not from Home Alone, but you grab these gifts from the box and you just start tossing them at the enemies in front of you and stuff. The red goons, as I like to call them. And I couldn't help but notice the throwing felt a little bit different. Now, I don't know about you, Brian, but my memory of Superhot's throwing was always like it was my one complaint about the game. Yes, just like you showed right there. It was like to throw properly, you had to like shove stuff forward and it would just go straight. And like, so you had to like basically adjust how you throw, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. You were just like, you had to kind of like push it in a straight line at your target. Boom. And that's how you would hit. Throwing always either totally overshot or undershot or just fall out of your hand. I mean, yeah, it always seemed like there was an issue.
Well, so when I was playing this, I noticed that like the throwing felt more natural. Like I was able to like throw overhand, and like the objects would actually like arc and like have like drop distance to them. And so I actually reached out to the developers, and they said that this was just the PR guy, so he didn't know for sure. But he said that they were discussing that at one point, and it might have been actually updated during the Black Friday update when that came out of nowhere. Also, there was another update that like removed some other scenes in the game. It could have happened one of those times, but I went and played the base game this morning. And yeah, man, like I can basically confirm that like the throwing in Superhot is like on point now. Like it's still a little challenging because you have to like press the move button and throw to release. But just props to them for updating that because that was so annoying to throw before. And now you actually throw stuff and it arcs and it actually like drops. And yeah, like it was the most satisfying thing earlier to chuck a ninja star across the map, and I hit this dude square in the forehead, and I was like, "This is so much better. Like this feels like it just feels more accurate. It feels more natural to throw now."
That's great to hear. I'll have to jump back in and try it out and see if you're crazy, or if it's actually a thing. It's so weird. You would think that they'd be like, hey, we patch 1.72 or whatever, like put it in notes, updated throwing or improved throwing mechanics, something. You'd think they'd want to like draw attention to that instead of just quietly. It doesn't sound like something that would be super easy to change. So why not tell people if you did it? I'm a little bit weirded out by the whole thing.
Yeah, but I just thought that was really cool, and Superhot's a great game, and yeah, really
Cool.
really nice for them to randomly, like 3 years later, add an update that improves something as well as some extra content.
Yeah,
Pretty awesome.
the Boxing Day stuff was great. I actually thought that was really good. And when I played it on stream, I didn't even understand it properly. I
I
didn't
know you
realize
weren't
could,
using the gifts.
yeah, I didn't realize that you could just keep taking from the gifts. And like, oh, that's
Right,
crazy. And so when I played it
right.
post stream, after somebody immediately told me how I was playing it wrong, I was like, oh, this is so much better.
Yeah,
Salvador with the $2 tip says playing with your HOTUS is always a good time. I agree,
that's
but just
mostly true.
keep
Yeah.
your hands on your throttle and stick. We also got a Hobbit with the 10 quid saying, as a very old school cat, can I wish Mama Cat and Dez, he doesn't care about the Sofa King, a great new year and wishing all the cats a fab new year. PSVR2 in the fall. Whoop! Bring it on, Sony. Hope I didn't upset you, Bri. Upset me? Wow, you could never upset me, a Hobbit. Never, ever, ever, even if you tried. A Hobbit's fucking old school as they come. And dude, I talked to Michelle very recently. She had a nice Christmas. She seems to be doing well. Her personal life is going really well. Her professional life is going really well. She's accomplishing all the goals that she set out to accomplish. She's doing way better than I ever expected she would be. Not that I didn't believe in her, just that she's kind of killing it on all fronts. And so be very happy for Michelle. Also, I talked to Dez yesterday morning. I don't know. It all kind of runs together. And him and Amanda are reaching some goals that they've had ever since they first got married. I don't want to talk about any of his stuff publicly because I don't know if it's public or not. But also be very happy for them because they're doing great as well, and their kids are. I saw their kids the last time I stopped over when I picked up a PSVR headset to borrow, and the kids were just like so super nice and like they weren't brats like all other kids. they're awesome. The whole family's great. You gotta love the Des household, and of course, hopefully you'll see Jeremy back on the channel soon enough. So thank you, a Hobbit.
Tom Flesh Eater Gaming says it was good to meet some of you in Rec Room. That was so fun. That's true. I spent New Year's. Did you do anything for New Year's Eve or New Year's?
I slept. It was nice.
You slept.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I'm an old man now. Like I get up at 7 and I go to bed at like 11 p.m. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't drink a whole lot, but I went into Rec Room with the cats. Shout out to like Creepy Betty, Delirium Drew, Blue Jew, Jason, of course, Jason Live. Tom Flesh Eater Gaming was there. There's a whole bunch of other cats, and I got plastered, and it was so amazing, man. It was so much fun. Hanging out with them. We were jumping from room to room. Rec Room has a skiing game. It was like a ski slope where like you have ski poles, and it actually has like, I've been wanting to make a video on this, but I just haven't yet. But it actually had like where you could dash down the thing, and then you could actually use the ski poles to like boost yourself some.
Fuck you,
and turn a
Fracked.
little bit. I know. I was like, ooh, Rec Room showing up fracked right now, man. Like, it is crazy. But we went to like a cabin, and there was like fireworks and everything. This is why I understand now that like social VR games are going to have a huge future, because it was like, it's people, I think Phil Spencer said like, oh, VR is too much of an isolated experience. This was like an amazing social gathering with like all my favorite people in the world, most of them, and then being able to like go see fireworks and go. We went to like 5 different rooms in the span of like 2 hours or something, and it was just incredible, man. So love that shit. It was so great. Yes. Also, it was a rare me being shit-faced sighting, which was nice.
I've had the Superhot trailer playing for like the last 5 minutes. Going, should I switch to a Rec Room trailer? I don't have anything to show. You didn't share any footage from your night out with the cats.
I know. I should have given you some footage for that, but I wasn't expecting
at
that.
least
Just
a group photo or something, right?
All this talk about family. I had to mention it. Anyway, so moving on in the news, Song in the Smoke has had a new difficulty level. Last time we reported this, we talked about how they added an easy mode and then a savage mode, which made the game I love the savage mode. But there's a new one that has piqued my interest, and I think Nick told me about how to activate this. And he might have got it from Twitch or something. But if you go, and I'm going to be streaming this pretty soon as well. But if you go into the menu, start a new game, and you're choosing your difficulty for your Song in the Smoke game, and you turn around, apparently there's an option for the secret Jake mode, which is a reference to Jake Kasdal because, and apparently it's like a super extreme brutal difficulty mode, and that makes me really excited to try this out. So,
yeah,
have you had a chance to? Oh, go ahead.
No, I haven't actually. But when they were developing the difficult mode, when they were like coming up with ways to make the game more difficult, apparently Jake was saying he wanted it to be really, really difficult, and like it would just be. I think most of the devs were like, this would be totally unfair. So like they had to come up with a compromise where they were like, well, here's a difficult mode, here's the savage mode, and then here's a Jake mode.
It's so hard they had to hide it.
yeah. They basically for a while everyone was like, well, where's Jake mode? How do you access Jake mode? And he was like, it's a secret how to access it. And are we telling people right now how to access it?
Yeah. You go to the difficulty when you're choosing your difficulty. You look back, and apparently there's an option to like start it on that.
You just turn around. Turn around.
Get a little bit. Go ahead.
And then I see the look in your eyes around. And I'm going to get this fucking terribly wrong, but give me a second here. Athanasios Sakiris. What say it?
Athanasios
Sakiris. Okay. Sakiri. With the €5 says nothing, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for making me try to figure out how to pronounce your name. Don't take it as anything but love that I spent the time trying to figure it out and still got it wrong. Scott Thorpe with the $5 says, Happy New Year, all. New Year's baby here. Got a Logitech G923 wheel from the missus, just off GT Sport in VR with it. So hyped for Gran Turismo 7 and PSVR2. Hurry up already.
Yeah. Hell yes. We do expect Gran Turismo 7. I think everybody thinks that.
Thanks, Scott, and happy birthday. You share a birthday.
All right, so before we get into our main topic, we had a quick viewer takeover question where you get to take over the show. And yeah, make sure you join our Discord. There's a viewer takeover section. Peepo, the peepee cat, types in #viewer takeover like a pro with the orbs being pure black and PS5 being black and white. What color do you think the headset will be? What do you say, you?
I don't know. So we don't actually. I don't think we actually know, right? So these are the orbs here. Not. These are the controllers that Sony showed off in February, March, something like that. It was super early, 2021, super early 2021. So we're coming up on almost a year since they were first revealed. They looked like they were the final, the final build, and they're like, okay, they really did some experimenting and figured out that these things would be amazing, because they didn't look like prototypes, right? They look really finished. I think they're going to look different. At this point, I think they're going to look different than this. And I don't know if solid black is going to be the thing. I think Sony's doubling down on white and black together, just like the PlayStation 5. And I could totally see these being, mostly white with black hand grips or vice versa, and just
Right.
kind of doubling down on that whole like combination, the stark black and the stark white. And so I kind of see PSVR2 doing the same thing as that, just to kind of so the whole PS5 family looks the same, which is a weird thing to
Um,
say.
yeah, the pictures that they showed us actually, even though, like you said, it looks like a finished, polished product, ready to go. It does say in the bottom left of those pictures, these are subject to change. These are doesn't necessarily mean these are the final look. And yeah, um, since the PS5 is black and white, I do think they're gonna imitate that with the PSVR 2. And I'd have to say, I'd probably think the places where your hands are going to be the most likely going to be like black,
Let's hope
and
so.
then like I think that's going to have some like white trim outlining it. And I think maybe the same thing with the headset. I think the headset might be white, but then have like black, like all the Halo strap and all that is going to be black. Is that yeah, like similar to I think. Well, maybe not similar to because the even the current PSVR headsets like black and white two
Yeah, I mean, that,
tone
that whole
all
front
over
rim
the
is
place.
black. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be I think the headset will be like anything out on the outline will be white.
I'm not gonna miss light tracking, but I am gonna really miss those like that color blue that lights up all around the
Yeah,
headset when you turn it on. I just
yeah,
always liked the way that
makes
looked when
like
it was on.
yeah, it makes the room like a neon blue. It looks so cool. Or
Yeah.
like even the Move controllers, like at night they, but yeah, no one's gonna miss them.
No, no, no. A Hobbit with the 10 quid says, PPO told me to say that Resident Evil 7 sucks to upset you. But can I say, as a VR game, Rush of Blood makes me jump more? You can totally say that. And I've actually, again, just like comedy and just like everything else, horror is very subjective. And I'm always surprised by what makes some people jump and not other people jump. PPO can suck it for trying to make you and I enemies because we'll never be enemies, a Hobbit. Never. Never, never, never. But yeah, Resident Evil 7 doesn't suck. That's all I have to say about that. Feelings not
All
great.
right,
All right,
well,
but we
Brian,
should
this
probably get
brings us
into
to our
yeah.
main topic. Take it away, man.
Oh, excellent. Well, the main topic of the day, if you guys are paying attention, earlier today I put out a breaking news report that that the PlayStation VR2, that Sony has issued an order for production of the PlayStation VR2. Now, this sort of shouldn't be that big of a surprise because it's been like a fucking year since we've heard anything about PSVR 2. So it's sort of like, hey, about time, right? But also it's sort of a surprise because Sony hasn't said anything about PSVR 2 in such a long time. And so everyone's like, well, is the reveal getting delayed? Is the headset getting delayed? What's happening? And so
Yeah.
even though this is the crazy part is that even though news is still coming out about PlayStation VR 2, it's not coming from Sony. Sony hasn't said anything in such a long time. And so I just kind of want to put that in perspective before we really dive into the story. Like when we got PSVR 2 specs, the headset specs, we revealed that. We leaked that from the developer summit in March. No, August. That's what it was, August.
Yeah.
And then this is coming from a leak in China. And so it's just so weird that we haven't heard anything from Sony themselves. But I guess we'll talk a little bit more about that and what we think Sony's plans are once we get through this news story. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little strange. You know, you participated in Virtual Strangers award show, and you guys had a little bit of a conversation about, you mostly, Wes, especially everybody was like praising PSVR for the things it's accomplished. But one thing did come up where it was kind of somebody said something that caught my attention, and I was like, yeah, and it was that. I think the big mistake that Sony has made, we've been pretty critical on it. I think they're doing all the right things behind the scenes, obviously, from what we've seen as well. Like that's very apparent. But it's almost as if they didn't realize that there were still some really passionate PSVR gamers like ourselves that were still out here, waiting to hear more news. And they, to be fair, they did give us a little bit by announcing the next gen VR. They did give us a little bit by showing us the controllers and giving us a little bit more info. So it's not like they didn't give us anything, but it certainly we've been a little frustrated with the communication, but when you factor in the pandemic, all the delays with the PS5 supply issues, they have a lot on their plate and they have a lot of little things to fix. So I am looking forward to moving past this whole PSVR2 being this like worst kept secret ever. Yeah, and again, like you said, the information we've gotten today has been from an article reporting on what is it called? Gore-Tech. Gore-Tech?
I think Go or Tech. I think you divide the syllables there. But it's it was from an analyst in China, a Chinese analyst who it's pretty credible, that goes by the Black Sheriff
Black
008.
Sheriff. I love his name, the Black Sheriff 008.
Right?
It's hard to like be like he's a serious, well-known analyst, guys. What's his name? Black Sheriff 008.
Right. Did you ever read EGM back in the day when one of their reviewers was Sushi X?
Oh my God! Wow.
Right.
Nostalgia.
And he was like the fighting game guru. Like he played more Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat than anybody, and like he was the guy who reviewed a lot of fighting games. And you were just like, but who is he? Like he's had a ton for somebody who we never knew his real name. He had a lot of credibility, and I think sometimes I don't think the EGM example applies to this, but I think when you're an analyst that goes by the Black Sheriff 008 and you're reporting on things, you're essentially leaking things. I think there's a reason he's hiding behind this name and not giving his real name out because I don't think Sony or Go or Tech would be very happy that this stuff was getting out there. It's like these are the kind of things you don't want your competition to know, and you don't want really your consumers to know before you get the chance to say it yourself publicly. So yeah, it's funny, but I think there's a reason for it.
We're going to be pulling a lot of information from VR player, VR, who's also known as like VR4 player, and it's Laurent Gann. I think he's a French. He's over in France, and he covers a lot of PlayStation VR. And he's a good dude that we know, and I think he did the best write up of the article. So we're going to be pulling a lot of information from his write up, even though we're not going to directly read it because some stuff gets lost in like Google Translation. But anyways, for those who are not familiar with Gore-Tech, they specialize in the production and sales and research and management of electroacoustic components, optical components, and electronic accessories. You haven't heard of them, but they've basically, or you most likely haven't heard of them, but they actually played a big role in producing lots of different accessories and devices, including PlayStation VR and Quest. This is who Sony contacts to help assist with mass production of devices, and they are located in China. And so this analyst basically did a 2021 summary of Gore-Tech, and then they said this is what they have planned for 2022. And in those things, they actually mentioned some really significant info that made us all just go, wait a minute, hold on, what? And stop for a second and talk about it.
Yeah, and the funny thing about this article is that at no point does the Black Sheriff ever say Sony or PlayStation. Basically, he's saying that there's a Japanese console manufacturer, like a big Japanese console manufacturer, which already really limits who you're talking about. Says is ordering production for their new VR headset, which now basically eliminates everybody except for Sony. So it's you don't have to be a genius to figure out what they're talking about here. It's like he's sort of saying it without saying it. And so they're ordering production of the PlayStation VR2 headset soon. Now, this word "soon" is going to be. I mean, we joke about it all the time. We use terminology all the time, saying this will be revealed soon, or it's coming soon, or the reveal is just weeks away. Like we made jokes about that like all week long. So soon is a really relative term, and no one really knows what soon means. And like I went through this article numerous times trying to like get any glimpse of any clarification whatsoever. And I don't know about you, but I didn't find any clarification whatsoever. It was just said soon. And my question to you is, how far out can soon be until it's no longer soon?
Well, soon can probably, when it comes to like mass production of a product, I mean, soon can mean, I'd say I'd give it a window of like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, I mean that's about the extent of it. I say once you're past 3 months, like it's just not soon anymore. That's ridiculous. So
Right.
so if it goes into production soon, they're saying that they like to have 1 to 2 million units produced, and we'll get to a few more elements about the article in a second. But then the next question comes, says, well, when do we think it's going to be shown? When do we think it's going to be released? How is this all going to work now that we have like a very vague soon time frame?
Yeah, they've estimated 1 to 2 million, like you said, in the first year, which would be technically this year. Most everybody is expecting PSVR2 to happen in 2022, and there have been some hints as well about them partnering with Sony to. Well, they said he specifies that this is from the article. He specifies that this same Japanese customer is in partnership in 2022 to provide a new generation of VR headset and will further increase the supply of game consoles. So that's the clues that we're putting together with it being Sony and PSVR 2, is that it's a large Japanese game client with a console and a next gen VR headset that is for that console. And it's like, well, PSVR is the only, as far as I know, it's the only console VR that's available. There's everything else is either standalone or PC.
Right. And has Looper the Underground Game Cat with the €5 said, you got it wrong. It will be Switch VR, a device that can be used as a handheld, a home console, or a VR headset. Man, I'll be honest, I would absolutely love if Nintendo did that, but there's no indication whatsoever that Nintendo. I know you're joking, but I'm just trying to follow up with thoughts on that. It does no indication that Nintendo is getting into VR anytime soon.
But yeah, I mean, as far as like, I mean, how are we supposed to know? I really, to be honest with you, I don't really know. So if there was no specifics about as to when production is going to begin, if there was even, maybe there was a translation thing or lost in translation thing that said it was going to be soon. But yeah, I mean, if that's the case, I mean, typically, if you compare the PS5 when that went into mass production, I think it was like somewhere between 3 to 6 months that the PlayStation 5 was then announced, and then it was another 3 months that it was released. So I think at the earliest, the PSVR 2 could release in the summer, and at the latest, obviously that could be whenever, because anything can happen. But I don't think I think February, March is probably when I'm expecting to hear the official announcement, because it's something you pointed out in the video, that they also point out in this article, is that once the mass production begins and they begin shipping it out to everywhere, then the secret's out. Like the stuff can leak left and right, so they have to stay ahead of that. And so, yeah, and that's going to be the final form factor, which we haven't even seen yet. So I'd imagine at the very least, regardless of when the mass shipping or mass production begins, which is probably going to be within the next 3 months, I'd say. I think within the next 3 months as well, we're going to get the announcement. We're going to start getting the official info and all that good stuff. And then we'll see it released somewhere between, like I said, I still, somewhere between summer and the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
at the earliest.
Just to back up a little bit, the reason I am 100% convinced that PlayStation VR 2 isn't out already is because of the chip shortages and just being able to get PlayStation 5s into people's hands.
Right.
I talked to numerous developers over the course of the last year, and they're all saying the same thing, that like PlayStation 5 needs a successful launch period. Sony wants all the focus to be on PlayStation 5, and they don't want anything getting in the way of that. No mixed messaging whatsoever. And in my head, I was like, oh, good. Well, they only need a year for that. But in truth, they need much more than a year for that. And they needed much more than a year for that, possibly even without COVID, possibly even without the chip shortages or the shipping issues. I think, just making sure that there's, 25 million PS5s out there before they start pushing this thing, PSVR2, is the only logical thing that makes sense. And you still see it now, right? It's like I was saying earlier that it's insane that all the information about PSVR2 is coming from us or from a Chinese website. But it's not insane, because anytime anyone ever brings up PlayStation VR2, and trust me, because I have a channel where we talk about it extensively all the time, and so I see all of your comments about it. Trust me, I'm paying attention. Everybody says the same fucking thing, AJ. It's always the same. But you can't even get a PlayStation 5 yet, so what's the point? PS6 will be out before we even get a PlayStation 5.
It's not
I understand.
It's not untrue.
I know,
and yes,
but this
I
is
know.
why Sony's not saying anything. So for anyone who's upset that Sony's being quiet, don't be upset, because they're looking at these types of comments, maybe not on Without Parole, but maybe on Upload, or maybe on their own PlayStation blog, or maybe on their own PlayStation YouTube channel.
Well, I think that's just part of their strategy. I don't think they have to wait forever, but I do think there is, to some degree, when they are struggling as much as they were, especially around launch, to sell the amount of PlayStation 5s that they'd like to. Yeah. I think that is a significant factor, obviously.
It absolutely is.
Yes. But I still don't think there's I still think there's, at some point, you got to draw the line and say, okay, we can't wait until 2025, right. and let, all this, this is, VR is an emerging thing too. Tons of, how long do you wait? If you wait too long, then there's going to be tons of PS5 owners that are waiting for PSVR 2, like us, like much of our community, like many, many people. If you're talking about money here, like, you're missing opportunity to sell at some point. When there's a threshold, and once that's crossed, it's like, okay, now you're losing money because you're trying to wait for the PS5 to catch up a little bit, or to get ahead at some point. You're losing money at this point. This same company, also, as part of this report, has helped Oculus Quest 2. They were involved with creating so Oculus has reportedly shipped 10 million Quest 2 units. That's not sold, but that is shipped, and that means they are ready to be bought. So they haven't really struggled. They've found some way to still do really well during the pandemic, during the supply chain issues. They're obviously running into different issues, because I think, Oculus kind of came out, or the Quest 2 came out, it was kind of born in the virus, where it was able to launch being prepared for it, versus like having 5 years, 7 years of marketing research, of development, of all sorts of plans in place, and then all that going to hell last second. So they can potentially not only help to build maybe X dozen units, or X amount of PSVR 2 units, but they might be able to help with the supply for PS5s as well, which is another thing they could help with.
That's one of the more important things what that has to do with this article in my breaking news report. That's the important thing, is that this company is going to help get PlayStation 5s out there. And so it's serving both purposes, right? Not only is it expediting the time that it'll take to, get the PlayStation VR 2s in our hand, but also taking care of the PlayStation 5 supply chain. And it's like, and so, people are like, people will tell you, and reports will tell you, and analysts will tell you that this chip supply shortage doesn't look like it's coming to a close even this year, even until 2023. But
right.
if you're a company that's able to get, you're able to help get 10 million Oculus Quest 2s out the door, and you're able to produce PlayStation 5s, then these are the guys, these are the guys that are going to be able to help all of Sony's
Yeah.
issues right now,
Yeah.
and thankfully, it seems like it's all in place and it's all about to happen very soon.
And so this is the thing I want to point out too is that we had previous reports. I like this report a lot more than the last one we got because here's the difference. This is a report coming from a company that is working with Sony, that is known to be working with Sony as well as other people. They're going to be, these guys' stock is definitely going to be on the rise right now because they're able to assist with a lot of companies that are having manufacturing issues. And they look like they're up to the task to be able to help out. The previous report we got was regarding I think it was some Japanese tech company that produced LCD screens, and they said they were the ones that originally started the rumor that it was going to be a 2022 launch. But what did they say in that article? They said all this information about PSVR2, Sony's plans, but then they didn't. But then they ended the article with one major thing, and that is that Sony's not working with them.
Right.
So they've discussed their plans with them, but they didn't even cut a deal with the people. So somebody that is known to be working directly with them, I like the information we're getting here. It seems a lot more believable than the information of an LCD screen company, company that is working, that doesn't even have a relationship because, as we know, Sony's going OLED once again. Thank God.
Right. Pio Trek F with the 10 plantains. Doesn't let me get away with anything. It says Nintendo Labo VR kit. I knew as soon as I said Nintendo's not doing a VR headset, I knew no one was going to let me get away with that. And thank you for that. Mad Max the Metaverse GameCat VR with the $2 tip says, what I got out of that is Virtual Boy 2022 or 2020. Virtual Boy 2020.
Crazy.
I would totally go for a new Virtual Boy. Anything Nintendo VR would be amazing. Waleed Saeed Faridi with the Canadian $2 tip says, we are slowly getting there. Has to be summer 2022.
I think, again, that could be the earliest. The thing is that now, even though that company isn't working or contracted with Sony on producing these things, they did say that was Sony's ultimate goal, was to start producing this stuff by holiday 2022. So there's still some validity to that potentially. Mm-hmm. But the truth is that they're not the ones doing it. You know, what if this Gore-Tech is like, we're ready to go right now. And so they could begin mass producing them, and within the next couple months start to be nearing ready to go. Even though the rumor, I think it's is around 2022 is fine. I think we have to realize that, hey, maybe, it could be a slightly earlier than holiday 2022.
Yeah. I mean, the fact is that people have said, I believe it's going to be launched on the anniversary of PlayStation VR 1. Right. And I like that. I think early October is a good time to get your headset out before the holidays. So that any early adopters have like a month before like the real big holiday shopping spree starts. And then you've got the people buying it for the holiday. Right. So anybody who wants to get one probably get one then. And so I really like that. And I think being October 13th, being the latest that it might come out, which would still kind of fall into the holiday 2022 release window, I think is really, really, really plausible. But I do see this potentially being out as early as June. But what I'm mostly concerned about is the reveal, right? I think with all of this news and the idea that it's going to be going into production soon, you would think that Sony wants to get ahead of the message, and for the first time since pretty much March of last year, start talking about PSVR 2 again. It is time. It's time for Sony to do this. And February to me sounds perfect, right?
This is definitely the year to get things going for real now.
Yeah, instead of doing something like which we anticipated that all last year they were going to sprinkle bits of information out for us, right? That here's an interview with Jim Ryan, and here's another PlayStation blog post, and here's the controllers, and then like once a month, I just basically expected we were going to see something once a month leading up to this point, and then pre-orders would have gone live. But Sony's strategy obviously changed, and I think again with the release date changing, or at least their reveal changing, it just to me says that they decided to hold back, not let the competition know what they were doing, and basically wow the fuck out of everybody. Because if they thought the release date was somewhat fluid and they weren't totally sure when it was coming out, because all they said last year was that it wouldn't be last year.
Yes, right.
They didn't even commit to 2022. They said just not 2021.
Right.
And so people are like, oh, obviously 2023, and I was like, you're crazy, but I mean, not that far off.
Yeah.
So it's, so I feel like they decided to like kind of like hold it back and say instead of showing something crazy fucking amazing 8 months ago, right? Maybe March, April, right? So showing, hey, this is what Resident Evil Village looks like in VR, and look how amazing it is, and blah blah blah, and talk about how easy it is for the developers to bring their flat screen game over to VR. Instead of doing all of that and then making us wait another year to play it, the impact would have been totally lost. Right? You'd be like, oh, remember we saw the thing about Village a year ago? Yeah, well, PC stuff is doing that now. I don't know, PC modders.
Yeah, I mean that is part of the problem with the messaging and stuff is that they're not able. Well, I don't know. It's like what you said. There were some great conversations you guys had with Wes and Roots and Eric over there at Virtual Strangers, and yeah, it made me think a lot about this stuff. Like, what the PC market that's emerging with these once again with these mods, being able to take like Resident Evil 2 and stuff, and developers all around, like, they're like, like they have these opportunities. That is one of the big disappointments, is that like I was thinking at the time that Sony was definitely the one that was going to be like the first to be like, oh, here's Resident Evil 2 in VR and first person and everything, and here's all these hybrid games, and like that's kind of what's happening behind the scenes, but that's not what they're coming out and saying just yet. And I get that they need to stretch it out, that they have other things to deal with first, but again, the dedicated PSVR base could have really, it would have been nice to not leave us hanging as much. I realize that they did give us a little bit, which I'm very appreciative for, but it does feel a little bit like you're leaving us hanging a little bit,
big time.
That and just the communication, like you don't have to show us anything, just the communication of these philosophies, these ideas, these game plans and stuff. Nobody else is going to go around and have the budget and stuff. I mean, there's Quest that they are doing their thing. They've already said their plan. Their plan is to build the metaverse where you can do your taxes in VR, and then they're throwing in they're gonna bring in some exclusives as well. They're also developing most likely another Quest headset. So there are some things that they can't just come forward with and whatever, but they missed they are missing an opportunity to take a lot of credit for some of these ideas before somebody else snatches them up and does everything already. And what would have been an amazing announcement at the time now becomes like, well, this is what was going on already and it's whatnot. But I don't really care about I care about the communication. I care about feeling like I'm not being left in the dark. I think they could have handled the transition a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But again, whenever we look at what they're actually doing, like they're usually doing the right things, and they're doing a pretty damn good job at it, and going pretty big with it. So I, for one, am just extremely excited about the official announcement, because once we get that, we get the showcase of games, all that stuff. Once that's ready, which I'm hoping is in with like the next month or two, that's what it's all about, man. Like we're off to the races. There's going to be a lot to unpack, and because it's not just about how it changes PSVR, but how it changes VR entirely.
Yeah, where I was going with all that was that they could have shown us something like Resident Evil Village in VR, like March or April of last year, and then the impact would have been totally done by the time they're ready to reveal a launch date or a price or show off the headset itself. And so holding it back a little bit and making sure that we're not all burnt out on the concept of PSVR2 before it even gets here is I think it's. Yeah, it sucks. The communication sucks. Yes, we all want it yesterday. I've seen plenty of people in the chat say, we're ready for it. Like, let the early adopters have it now. And I'm like, I'm with you, Bad Robot. I understand. It makes sense. But honestly, to really, PlayStation is pushing VR into the mainstream, and I think you guys will understand what I'm saying when you see it, when you see what it's capable of. This isn't like, yeah, Quest is doing great. Quest 2 selling fantastic by all reports.
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
doing.
not.
I think Quest's doing a great job of
But
getting it into like the younger generation, getting them started with it.
I mean,
You know,
whatever the generation is, doesn't matter. It's like they're doing well, but it's still, it's by the end of its life, it's still going to be considered a niche product, and VR is still going to be considered niche. PlayStation VR2 will be the first time that, and you guys again will see why that VR gets pushed into the mainstream, and like this is, and so
I think from a gaming standpoint, yes, I actually disagree with you a little bit. I
who
think
the fuck cares about anything other than gaming? So,
well, I know,
Sony's
but
going to have their
I'm
own.
saying,
Go ahead.
right. I agree. I agree with you in many, many ways. All I'm saying is like it's okay to have like, you know, their VR is like more about the social integration and stuff, and you know it has its merit as well. I mean, it's run by Facebook, so but other than that, which is a big bad thing, it still is, it's still bringing more people awareness and helping push it to the mainstream more than anyone else was. With PCVR, the problem was a lot of these headsets remain niche, and I think with Quest and Sony, these are the way you get out into the mainstream. The important part that we like is that Sony's doing it with games first and foremost, and that's going to be what's going to make it really, really special. People are going to hear, oh, Resident Evil in VR, oh, Gran Turismo in VR, and they're going to flip their shit, and then they're going to that's going to convince them from a mainstream gaming audience to come to VR, and that's going to be huge.
Yeah. Yes. So again, rather than doing everything over the course of like 12 months and giving us and drip feeding us little bits of information, there's a part of me that's actually really glad that they've actually held back, and that it seems like we're just gonna see everything all at once. I'm gonna be excited when Sony has an event, shows off games, and shows off how fucking insane PlayStation 5 VR games are going to be. It shows off the capabilities of the headset, gives us all the specs officially, and then not only gives us, you know, a price and a release date, but also says, hey, pre-orders are open now. We get all of that excitement all at once, because honestly, you know, I think I've gone on record before. Who is it? Truant Pixel, who's making Runner, which I think is going to be a great game. By the time Runner comes out, I'm going to be like, didn't Runner already come out like last year? Because I've seen so many gameplay clips and so many videos of it, and you know, it's an indie's cross to bear for sure. Like trying to like keep a game in the mind share of the consumer, right? It's like, oh, we announced this game, and now for the next year we got to push. But for me, I'm like, didn't that game come out already? Like, I've seen so much of it. I feel like I played it, right? And so I think the same thing could be true for hardware as well. When by the time you've seen so much of something, it's no longer the hype level just isn't there like it was when you first saw what it was doing and first capable of, and the excitement levels at an all-time high, and then pre-orders are open at the exact same time as that. Well, fucking sign me up, man. Like, I mean, I was going to buy PSVR2 anyway, but they don't care about me. They know I'm going to buy it. They know I'm going to be first in line. They don't have to worry about me. They have to worry about the rest of the mainstream gamers who are like, VR's a fad. VR's a gimmick. VR games look like PlayStation 2 games. VR games
and
are
that's their reasoning for
same.
doing a lot of the things that they're doing right now, is because that's who they're focused on. I hate to say it, they're not focused on us. I mean, that's what we're saying is, hey, we're still playing PSVR. We still love this thing. You know, show us some love too, like as your most dedicated audience. But at the back of their mind, they're thinking, no, they want something much. Their eye is on really much bigger amounts of people as well.
Right.
And that's why they're doing the process that they have.
And that brings us to genetic blasphemy. The reverse engineered GameCast tip, $5, says, I keep seeing all these PS5 games slated for spring, and I keep wondering, I know Christmas is more likely, but are you guys entertaining a spring launch?
No.
I just think it's
but we'll have
Moss
Book too.
Yeah.
We've still got PSVR 1 games on the way.
Oh yeah, no, we absolutely still have PlayStation VR 1 games on the way. And honestly, I just think it's a little too soon. I think they want to make sure they just get a few more PlayStation 5s out there in the wild. I think it would be really, really nice by the time that they do a PlayStation VR2 announcement if people are actually taking pictures of like at Best Buy or in Target, in a Walmart or whatever, and there's a couple consoles actually on the shelves, and when they go up for sale on Amazon, they don't sell out in the first 45 seconds, right? Like it would be nice if people go, oh, I missed my chance, but at least there was a 5-minute window that they feel like they missed instead of like this nebulous time that almost didn't exist at all. like so so yeah, I think that it's going to be a little bit of a better climate for them to do their revealing and then to release the headset in if they wait just a few more months. And again, I'm being optimistic when I say mid 2022, when I think it could come out in June. October is totally likely. So I don't know, but I do get what Genetic Blasphemy, like you're saying, because we went down that same rabbit hole for a little while, and we're like, look, all these games are coming out around the same day, or like they're all coming out in the same month. These big PS5 titles that all seem like they'd be perfect for PSVR 2. So we went down the same rabbit hole, and we totally understand where you're coming from.
PSVR 2, man, this is our year, baby.
Hell yeah, first time VR's taken a step forward in 6 years. Yeah, that was a dig, but it was warranted. Yeah. AJ, it's time for PSVR 20 questions. Are you ready for 20 questions?
I am. I think it's your...
oh, yeah, it is.
It's our time to guess, cats. We can do this.
All right, so guys, if it's your first time watching 20 questions, I'm going to be the host. And I got a PSVR game in mind. You guys out there, you're going to help AJ with a bunch of yes or no questions and a bunch of game suggestions to help him figure out what PlayStation VR game I'm thinking of. I'm also going to put 6 minutes up on the clock up on the counter the way that Jeremy likes it. Whoop. I hear he likes it on the counter. Fucking kinky. I love it. Are you ready, AJ?
I'm ready.
Are you ready, cats? Yeah, they're ready. Okay, go.
Does it have vehicles?
I forgot what game it was. No.
Does it have multiplayer?
No.
Are you thinking leaderboards?
Are you thinking leaderboards?
Are you thinking leaderboards?
Are you thinking you're wasting a lot of time?
I'm just asking all of Neon Groove's questions.
Okay.
I think we've done Racket for you before. Does it have what questions did I even ask? Does it have move support?
Yes.
It does have move support. Does it support DualShock 4?
No, it does not.
No, it does not.
No.
Okay, so it's probably moves only. I think that's safe to at least assume. Moves, we're on question number 4. Is it a horror game?
It is not a horror game. That's 5.
What about a puzzle game?
It is not a puzzle game.
Is there shooting involved?
There is shooting involved.
Okay, there is shooting. Is it sci-fi?
Yeah. Really, that's not what I think of when I think of this game, but it's definitely sci-fi, yeah.
Okay, so we got a sci-fi shooter that uses the moves, and no DualShock 4. Yours history. Oh, God, I'll ask it. No, I'm not going to ask it.
Don't ask
I'll ask it. Does it have rudder support?
I don't fucking know. I don't think so. I'm not even going to count that. I'm going to say I don't think so, but I'm not going to count it.
Freebie. Okay, so it probably has some form of locomotion. Let's see here. Okay, no multiplayer. Does it have leaderboards?
Yes, believe so. That's the thing.
Okay, so it's got leaderboards. It's an arcade game?
Yeah, that's 10.
So
it's an arcade game.
All right, guys. 10 questions. We've got arcade shooter that uses the moves with leaderboards. Let's see here. That's a good question, Sacred Grove. Is it stationary?
Does your character stand still?
Is it a stationary shooter?
You're asking if your character stands still or you stand still?
Yes.
If you stand still?
Yes.
No, it's not. I guess I'm overthinking the question. No, it's not.
No, I guess, okay. Well, should I change that to full locomotion? Okay.
Your character does not stand still. No, not at all.
Okay. Is it first person?
No.
Okay. did this game come out this year? Last year? No, it's 2020. Did it come out in 2021?
Yes, it did. 2021.
Oh, I like where you're going, Johnny Right Pop.
Ooh, where's Right Pop?
Is this has this developer made other PSVR games?
They have made other PSVR games.
Is this game a bullet hell shooter?
This game is a bullet hell shooter.
What's one more that we can use to take it home? Do you control a little action figure and shoot around as you dodge the bullets?
You can control a little action figure and dodge around as you move around the bullets. I don't know if that's what you said.
Is it Yuki?
It is Yuki!
Yes. Giving some Yuki love.
I need like fireworks to go off when we get it right. It's add to the celebration. Yeah. No, I definitely love this game. And yeah, it did get it got leaderboard support, I believe, when they added the endless mode.
Endless mode.
Right. Which was interesting because it was only me and one other person on the entire leaderboard. And I was like, I waited 3 days to play it too. So it's like, oh, damn. That says a lot. But super fun game. I really like Yuki. Arvory sent me a backpack, a Pixel Rip backpack the other day. And I was like, nice. What is this? Is this a Christmas present? Like, what is going on here? But it's like all bright purple and yellow and shit. And I was like, I'm going to totally wear this around town.
Yeah.
Eric, my iCarly
over
headphones.
Eric over there on Virtual Strangers was raving about this game too. So I need to play it more. That's all it comes down to. I just haven't really played it enough, I guess.
I mean, Eric raving about Yuki makes me second guess my thoughts on Yuki.
What? He had great takes. What are you talking about? You had the worst takes on
He was like, 4 points the best VR game I've ever played. Like, and I was like, oh, God, AJ's new best friend.
And you're like, oh, horror game is bad because the whole game is horror and scary. That doesn't. Only part of the horror game should be scary.
Who's a good girl? Oh, it's Tornado. Yes, it is. It's Tornado. Who's a good girl? She had to make a guest appearance before the end of the show, didn't you? Yes. Oh, who's a good girl? Get Rock on the screen. Get Rock on the screen.
We would like to thank you so much. Hopefully, we made your Monday suck just a little bit less. Make sure you subscribe to PSVR Without Parole. If you're feeling kind, I run PSVR Underground. Subscribe to me as well. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/PSVR Without Parole. Without Parole Games. And then Patreon /PSVR Underground if you guys want to support us. And thank you to all the moderators. Thank you to everyone who donated. Thank you to Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry, Jeremy the NES rookie. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the thing. Did I miss anything, Brian?
No, man. We just want to thank everybody that hung out during the show. Yeah, we
make sure you join our Discord as well. We have we have the best fucking community ever, and come kick it with us in Discord. It's super fun, and there's lots of multiplayer meetups and lots of different topics going on, and different threads to discuss. And yeah, man, appreciate all of you, Brian,
and all of you watching later who didn't participate in the chat and didn't say a goddamn word. We love you just as much. Click the like button.
That's right.
AJ, let's cue the cat.
Cue the cat, Brian, because I want to say see you Wednesday to Techno Glitch. I don't know how to do glitch, but Hack the Game Cat. I knew it was lit up in here. Secrets of. See you again soon, my friend. The Sacred Grove. Cheers to you, and happy VR 2022. I agree, Rody the Game Cat. Thank you so much for posting the Discord link. Mick Coles, keep throwing them shapes, baby. Mark Pringles, Leaf. Your secret will always be safe with us. It's this great first stream of 2022. The Triangulator, my dude, Dark Angel. Oh, also was with us during the Rec Room party. Hell yeah, it was nice to meet you in person, finally, in virtual person. Meow. Thank you for the donation. Jazzy J, the Terra Mage Game Cat, Bambino Ramos, Donatello Scientist Game Cat, Art Pulse Champion right here. I need to buy Art Pulse next time it's on sale for like
$1.50. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get it for I'll do it for like $1 or something. Super Texter Murphy, Yuki's bullets are beautiful. I agree, they are. It is a great looking game, great art style too. Ben Dawson, Happy New Year to you as well, my friend. David the Game Cat runs, much love to you as well. Keep streaming. I've been watching you, David. I've been watching you streaming Borderlands too. Don't think I didn't see what you're up to over there. Darcy the Balkan Game Cat finally got his PS5. Congrats, man. I saw him playing Astro's Playroom. And, yeah, man, congrats. He says Crisis Brigade? I think he might be a little behind here, but he'll catch up and hear a shout out. Guy Son, fist bump to you. Scott Cisco, PSN, Harry Fell, PSVR Game Cat for life. Herb, the 247 Game Cat, Justin Cassidy, Brax Bro says play more Ape Out. I don't know what that means. LC255.
You've never played Ape Out? Ape Out's fucking awesome.
No, played Ape Escape. Blue Jew, the Underground Game Cat Elite Name Squad in the house. Tom Flesh Eater Gaming. Stay awesome, my friend. Tom. Always there. I missed seeing your name because every time I said Tom, I'd be like, like Tom Tom's on the drum. Pietrek F, thank you so much, man.
We're following.
Dorothy is still guessing. He's saying Beat Saber.
Wow, Dorothy's like 5 minutes behind. That's fine.
You got to refresh that. That's
all
all right, Dorothy. If you're listening to this message now, I come from the future and tell you you are awesome.
But also you're awesome, but also extremely, extremely wrong.
CBD in Japan, stay awesome, my friend. Beeman 1973, you as well, guys. Oak 3v3, Oak V3D, and of course, before we get out of here, I'll just say goodbye to the Fender PSVR, Paul Arnold. We're doing great, thank you, and of course, Alberto Bapom, the game Gato.
Is that it? Can I end the stream now?
You may.
Why? Thank
When
you.
I tell you.
Everyone go play Pirate Flight and then report back to me.